what can I tell you? They've been making changes on me, so just need 1 second. Okay. How's everybody doing? Welcome, welcome. So we are talking about the wonder and evidently big secret that is YouTube chapters. So the thing is that this is a super powerful tool that we have at our disposal now. And of course, the nice thing about it is it's YouTube and it's free. So I'm going to show you how to use it, why you would use it, what the benefits are, all that kind of good stuff, and show you what to look for when you're looking for this type of thing out in the wild there. All of the pieces out of the way here, and then we can get started. Where is this? This is going away. There we go. Okay. So I think things are sort of working. We're going to get this working, I promise. Hang in there. In the meantime, let's get the intro running. Okay, there we go. So, there's this little thing out there now called YouTube chapters. And it's a really handy way to make your content more accessible to your audience in a relatively easy way. I mean, it is probably the lowest tech little tip that I have given you guys to date. There's a tiny bit of pre-work that you need to do, which I'm going to explain to you in a second. But then really, once you've done that tiny bit of it, it's really just a copy paste into the description and your problems are solved. So let's get into this. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Kathleen and I'm here as your tech coach. The short version of it is I am here to help business owners make technology work for them. It's actually possible, and it's how it should be. So let's talk about YouTube chapters, what they are, how you use them, all that kind of good stuff. We're going to start off with the obvious, which is what the heck are they? What am I talking about? So YouTube chapters are basically a way to make the segments in your content more accessible to your audience. So what am I talking about here? So if you're spent any time online, right? Sooner or later watch a video and you know, like you can go to the bottom and you can scrub back and forth to like go forward or backwards in a video and to kind of see, you know, what's in there. And then there's this concept of time code. So in any video, at every point throughout the video, right, from 0 to, if it's a 30-minute video, to 30 minutes, every single second is got a little time code associated with it, which is a great shortcut, which we've talked about before, if you're trying to help people get right into your content. This sort of takes that to the next level, and it makes it so that people can actually access that particular segment quickly from your progress bar, right down at the bottom of the video. If you're watching this on the replay, it's underneath here. It's actually probably there if you're watching live too, because you can VCR kind of thing here. But also, by embedding it in your description, which I'm going to show you how to do, it also makes it clickable from inside your description, which is even easier for people who are maybe not so comfortable trying to find it through the scrubber. So pretty simple way to go. But let's just back up a little bit, right? So this works for uploaded videos, right? So if you've created videos offline and then uploaded them to your YouTube channel, and it works for live video after the fact. Okay, so like they're not going to be there now, but in a couple of days, I'll grab some time and I will go back and I will do this little piece of magic that I'm going to show you. And then for the people on the replay after that point, they will be able to have access to it. Does that make sense? Okay. And basically, I mean, the reason I call it chapters is because it's just a way to break your video into logical sections, which you've probably already done when you've structured out your video, unless you're just doing a free form. But you can either just go from that sort of whatever bullet order you had, or you can get more granular. Like if there's a particular little piece, you know, that you know somebody's going to be able to need, you can get them right into that. So it's completely up to you. It's completely customizable by you. Studio Geek is saying that he wants to learn how to do this. Well, then you're in the right place, aren't you? That's awesome. So that worked out well. Yeah, it's when I show it to you, Sammy, you're gonna it's gonna blow your mind how easy this is. It's like, really? That's like the first couple of times I did it, I'm like, it can't be that easy, but it worked. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to get you through this. It is really not a hard thing to do. I do have to apologize. It looks like Facebook comments are not coming through, so I will try to make a point of looking over there because, you know, Facebook, they're changing everything. They tried to force me into the new UI today. Yeah, no, we're not doing that 5 seconds before I start this show. Okay, so the other thing that I want to tell you up front about YouTube chapters is, and this made me so happy, it's accessible to all users right away. Okay, so it works on desktop, it works on phones, it works on tablets, it works on Chromebooks, it works on all the devices. So you don't have to worry about it. And by watching this video and jumping in with me to do these kinds of things, we're kind of early adapters because this only went live in April of 2020, which is, it's now September of 2020. So here we go. We're ahead of things for a change, right? Most of the time we don't get access to the cool new things, right? It's always up the bigger people out there, but they just put this out there for us. They didn't make a big fuss about it, so not everybody heard about it, which is why we're having this conversation here. But I promise you, this is not rocket science, okay? This is not high-tech stuff. Like, your content's going to come across high-tech, but the effort on your part, you don't have to know how to code, you don't have to know anything special, you don't need any special tools. It is unbelievably simple. So we're going to jump in and do this. So let me just show you real quick what it looks like with and without it, just so that you know what to look for. So one sec, let me go to, okay, yeah, this is actually a good one to go to. Alrighty, so this is last week's show? 2 weeks ago? I don't know, I've lost all track of time. So what I'm talking about here when I say the play bar, so it's this piece under here where you see like it's got that little window that's showing up, right, as I move along. So this is your normal day-to-day progress bar, right? It's got numbers, right? So those numbers that you see there underneath the picture, those are the time codes I was talking about, right? So at 4 minutes, 33 seconds, this is what it looked like. At 9 minutes and 34 seconds, this is what it looked like. But there's no other context around it other than maybe you can suss it out from the little thumbnail that's showing up there, right? But other than that, that's it. So let me show you what one looks like with these chapters in here. So this is somebody else's video. Not going to play it, but I just want to show you. So you see how here, when I start to go over the progress bar, you see like there's these little gaps, right? It's not a solid line anymore. And as I'm going from one to the other, you can see the titles are coming up, right? And that's what we're talking about. It's the difference between the solid line with no titles and the solid line with it. So somebody could jump right into, like if they were looking for, release strategies report for GPT-2, whatever the heck that is, they could jump right to it because they were able to find it in there. So this is serving multiple purposes, right? This is helpful for people who are looking just to dive in and dive out to your content, which still counts as views. This is really important and helpful for people who have watched your content and go, you know what, they talked about this, but I don't remember where it was in the video. They don't have to watch the whole video. They don't even have to scrub through and guess where it is. They can actually find the exact point in it. Also, it makes it way easier for them to share your content. Because again, if they're talking to somebody, they're like, oh, hey, so-and-so did something about that in a video. Let me get that to you. They can come in, they can find it. And then using that share thing I told you a couple of weeks ago, they can actually send them the link that is embedded with the time code to take the person right to it, which is just such a positive user experience kind of thing that it is just subconsciously going to make them think more positively about your content and make them more likely to come back because, hey, look how easy you made their life. So let me just show you another one. So again, I'm going to go back for a second. So again, in a video that doesn't have it, down here, you can scrub through, but it's a solid line, right? There's no clues about what it is. So this is one I did for my own video when I was testing. And so you can see that now I've got spaces in that bar, and each one of those spaces is another title. Okay? Sounds pretty easy, right? Any questions at this point? Are we pretty straightforward on what we're talking about and where we're going? Hello, Ace. So glad to have you here. Yeah, I do apologize. It looks like, I guess for whatever reason, at least we're connected to Facebook tonight, but Facebook comments are not coming through. You can't have everything. Alrighty, so since I'm already on a break here, so let me just remind you that all of my best content comes from you folks' questions or ideas for a show or content you want me to cover in a show. So go to YourTechCoach.net. There's a contact form there. If you have a question, if you have a comment, if you have something you want me to cover on the show, or you just need help with something, you can go there and ask your question, pass along whatever content you're looking for me to cover. And the only thing I ask from you is that you let me know if you need a fast answer. If you need a fast answer, let me know that, and let me know how to get back in touch with you. Email address, probably. And I'll get back to you just as quickly as I can. If you don't do that, then I'm going to assume that this is just an idea for a show, or something you're hoping I'll cover on a show, which is okay too. All right, let's keep going. So I covered all of that. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to tell you, and that is chapters. Not only do they work on all devices, I think I did say, right, they work for uploads and they work for live. Now, the other little thing, now this is not, I'll just throw it out there. Okay, so YouTube says, in all the documentation I read about this, right, that this new feature will not impact how they recommend your content. However, in the tests that I've done so far, and they're very small tests, and I will continue the tests and I will let you know, but I took content that maybe didn't get a lot of coverage when I first released it, and I went back and I did this. And in the video that I did this in 48 hours, the viewership tripled. Now, maybe that's a coincidence, I don't know, but while YouTube is saying it does not impact recommendations, anecdotally, for a very small test sample that I've done, I did see a boost. Now, this evidently also is not, which when I first heard about it, I'm like, ooh, that's how it's happening. So if you've done, a search, right, you were looking for, how to change the oil in your car, or how to reset the clock, in your car, or, you're trying to figure out how to do foundation rows and crocheting, whatever it was you were searching for that might have had video content, now you're more and more starting to see at the top of your search results a video, and the video is already at whatever point in that video that question is answered, or what the search algorithm thinks is probably the closest match. I thought the chapters was feeding into that. Again, YouTube is saying no. YouTube is not really revealing how they're doing that. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that and see, but the way I look at it, it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt to have it in there just in case. I'm starting to think that maybe I think that is more AI based. So what I'm showing you tonight has got nothing to do with the AI from Google. It may be that's shortcut into a video is more AI based. It might be coming off of the captions. The AI might be reading those. So I'm just putting it out there. We don't know at this point. We don't know enough. As I said, it's only been out there for a couple of months, so there's not a lot of data on it yet, but it couldn't hurt, right? How to put cornrows in your hair? Ace, absolutely. If that is what you are searching for, if you're feeling that need for that look, then, that could be it, and it's taking you right to the point where it starts to show you how to do that. But that does not seem, at this point, to be tied to this. This just seems to be a way to make your content easier for your audience to work with and find. And to share, which is always a good thing. The jury is out on everything else. All right, so in order to get started with this, the first thing that you're going to need to do is you're going to need to know how to grab your time codes. So let me go back here. Hang on, I seem to have hit play by mistake, so let me go back because I don't want to be that far into things. Okay, so I'm just going to show you, for people who have maybe never thought about doing the time code things, that's where this starts. So let me get into this one here. So the first part of this process is a manual process. To date, I have not been able to find anything that does a good job of identifying the time codes for segments in your videos. I'm sure Google's working on it. But today what you need to do is go to your video, or hire somebody to go to your video, and have them go through and play it. Now, you don't have to play it all the way through, especially if you're doing it yourself, right? Because you know what content you did. But you want to go in and you want to play it enough. I think I've got the audio off. You don't need to hear me twice. So you could watch it, this way, or you could get a plug-in like I've got here, which I think you can see, which kind of speeds it up. So you just kind of press this, and it will take you from single speed to double and triple. However you like to do it, or you can just scrub through it. But the point is, you want to find the different points in your video where you are starting a new segment, a new topic, something that you want to share. Now, you don't have to do this for every single thing that you're talking about, everything that you're covering. YouTube, don't die on me now. Please don't die on me now. There we go. But you do want to do it for the things that you think people are most likely looking for, or are going to benefit from, and or are going to want to revisit. Those are the three things I'm looking for right now as I'm going through. So let's just say at this point in the video, I was starting to talk about something new. So what I do is I pause it, right? And then you come here, and then you can see what the numbers is. So this is 5:03. So what you do is you go and you write that down. And I really meant to open this into hang on, I was going to put this into notepads. Let me just do that. Oh, yeah, I think I can do that. Okay. So you just want to go and write down whatever that is, and then the name of the title that you want to put on it, right? So let's say I was talking about, how to swap out memory in your computer, right? And then you would go along and keep going to the next one. And, maybe you're going to scrub through and you're like, oh, okay, wait, I tend to put up a new comment before I go into a new topic. So, okay, so at this point, this is 8:38, and then you write that down. And you just go through your whole video that way, and you grab all of those time codes. And then you take each time code and you put a description on it so that would make sense to whoever is doing the research. Also think SEO on this kind of stuff, because again, everything that you're doing, especially stuff that you're putting in your description, your titles, all that kind of stuff, can feed into your SEO. So make sure you're capitalizing on that too. Don't write it for the SEO, but take advantage of the SEO, right? You want these titles to work for humans, not the bots. But if you can feed the bot along the way, that's a good thing. So we'll take that for the win. So that is the first thing you need to do. And then, let me see if I can get this up for you in a sec. What you're going to do is build out a little document. Let me make this bigger for you. Zoom in. Come on. Come on. Control. All right. No, not there. Not there. Okay. Hopefully that makes it big enough. We're going to flip over to... Yeah, it could be bigger. Let's keep going. How about that? Is that big enough? Not yet. Say Control Plus. Let's try that again. There we go. Now we're getting big enough. Now let's go all the way. All right, now we're talking. So. Move this over. Okay, so this is what you're shooting for. You're shooting to build yourself out a list like this, right? So you're going to start, you have to start off with this. This always has to, the name doesn't have to be intro, it can be whatever you want. But you always have to start off with 0:00. Or if you prefer, if you're the kind of person that feels better with this, if you like the leading 0, that's fine too. As long as you have some form of this at the beginning, then you're good to go. So it's this, a space, and then whatever words you want to do. Now, part of the requirements for this to trigger is that you have to have, let me make sure I get this right here. You have to have 3. Where is it? Where is it? Really, I wrote this down. Okay, you have to have at least 3 timestamps, okay? And the minimum length per chapter is 10 seconds, right? So you want to make sure that there's at least a 10-second gap between each of your times, and that you've got at least 3. And I would assume that counts the 0. So that's the important thing. And then you can build out however many you want. I haven't read anywhere that it says something about not having, having any kind of limit on it. Hang on one second. Why is this? Why are all the things not behaving? Behave things. There we go. Okay. So this is what you're shooting for. You're just looking to get it to this point. Let's see, what else? Okay. So now, once you've got this, then what you want to do is you want to go into... Thought I had this set up. Okay, no, I do have it set up. That's what we were just looking at. But I need to go. So you want to go into your YouTube, the studio. Let me bring that up. And I'm realizing I have the information here and I need it to be down here. So let me grab my cheat sheet. Sorry, meant to hit the mute, but forgot. All right. I'm just going to copy this. And then we're going to go here. So that very video that I was just in, let me bring this up. Okay, so I'm going to go into YouTube Studio, where we're doing most of our things these days, right? And then videos. And then you're going to go in and you're going to find that video that you want to put it in. Okay, which is this one in my case. And then you're going to go into details. And what you're trying to get to is this. Oh, wait, that's the one I just did. Well, that's what we're shooting for. Playlist. That's the one I'm looking for. Let's start from the very beginning. Playlist, where are you? There we are. Okay, so this is a pretty familiar screen to anybody who's been doing their videos, right? Because whether you're uploading or you're doing live, you got to come in, you got to put your title in, you got to put in your description, you're doing your keywords, blah, blah, blah. What you're going to do is you're going to take that list that I showed you. Which window am I in? Nope. This list, right? This list of the time codes where you did the time code and you put a title to it. You're going to copy that, and then you're going to paste it into your description. Now, I've just been putting it up here. It doesn't seem that the position matters to this process, but I've been putting it right after the description so that my human audience who comes in and reads the description will be able to find it quickly. So I just put it in here. No special formatting, no special handshakes. You don't need any special characters or anything. You just put it in there, and you come up here and you hit save. That's it. That's the whole process. It takes longer to explain it than to do it. The only thing that is slightly time consuming is going through your video and getting your time codes. Other than that, it's completely unbelievably simple. So now one of the questions that people are thinking out there and asking, right, is how long does it take for this to happen? Like, how long does it take for it to take effect? When I've done this in my tests, it has been almost instantaneous. Now, the YouTube documentation says it could take up to 24 hours. I would imagine as more people start to do it, the time might get a little longer on it, but when I've done it, it's been very quick. So this video that I just did this for is the one I was showing you before that did not have it had the solid progress bar, right? It did not have the chapter. So let's see if it's there yet. We'll play it here. We'll go nuts. Yep, it's already here. So remember before we looked at this and it was just a solid line? Well, now we've got our chapters in here. So, Sammy, since you're the one who said that you were interested in this, does that feel pretty easy? Because to me, this was like, I was shocked at how simple it was. And like I said, it's already taken effect. I can go here. So there's the welcome. There's what are YouTube playlists. Why would you want to use playlists? Or I can skip ahead to how to build your playlist. And it takes you right into that. Unbelievably simple. And the other benefit is, actually, let me go back to this for a second. No, come on, don't go to sleep on me now. Seriously? Oh, I clicked on something, that's why. Don't click on things when you're trying to scroll. When you come down here, you see the blue? These are now hyperlinks directly to that content. So I clicked on it and it jumped right to that content, and it even repositioned the window for the person. I mean, it's unbelievably functional and user-friendly and helpful and so freaking easy. I can't believe it. Yeah, so Ace agrees with me. Yes, that's crazy. I was waiting for the long, complicated explanation, right? It takes longer for people who have never collected time codes. That's a little harder, and you don't get like too freaked out doing it. As long as you are reasonably close with your time codes, you're fine. It doesn't have to be surgery, right? It doesn't have to be the exact second that you start talking about it. If it's a couple of seconds beforehand, it's fine. Better to be a couple of seconds before than after, because then they have to go backwards. So if you're a little early on it, it's fine. But I'm right, this is like unbelievably easy and yet so amazingly powerful. So that's why I couldn't wait. Like, I had to get in here and talk about this right away, because this is like it's fun, it's powerful, and the fact that these things show up, here, let me go back to this, like, it just blows my mind. The fact that not only, you just put it into the description, but then they're hyperlinked for you in freaking seconds. I love it. I love it. This is a great thing. This is a wonderful thing. It's going to help your audience, and just by doing that, it's going to make them way more interested in your content, because you're going that extra step for them. They don't have to know how easy it was, right? They don't have to know that, other than maybe it takes, I'm at the point where it takes me about 5 minutes to go through a 30 to 45 minute video and pull out the time codes. That's just something with practice. You get better at it. You start to recognize your own patterns. And again, this is another reason to structure your content. So whether it's recorded or live, to put some basic structure into it, because it makes it easier for you to go in and say, okay, I want to grab this, this, and this to put in here so that people can go ahead and grab it and it's going to show up. And either they can click on it in the description, which is a thing you might have to, I don't particularly like to, you're going to have to teach them to let them know that it's there. But even if they don't see it, it's right there up in the progress bar. And they will start to notice it. They may not consciously at first realize that the lines are broken and that means something, but when they start to scrub through and they see titles where they're used to only seeing numbers, they're going to have that wow moment, right? They're going to have that aha factor go off for them. And that is going to be a major win. So that's it. That's what I've got for you. The other thing I wanted to say is that, because I figure somebody will ask, so let's be ahead of the game here. Is it available in every country? The answer is yes, but, right, like so many things. So yes, it's available in every country according to the YouTube documentation. But do keep in mind that whatever you put in when you do the time code in the title, it will be in whatever language you do it in. So I'm doing it in English, which means that somebody in Italy would see it in English. But they're also going to get my video in English, so I don't know how big a deal that is, but they made a big deal out of it in their documentation because it showed up a few times, so I'm like, you know what, I should probably mention this just in case. So there you go. It is available everywhere. It's not doing any translations for you, which would make sense because it's also not translating my voice, right? We don't have the universal translator. We don't have the Babelfish yet. My geeky friends out there know what I'm talking about. If you don't know, it's okay. I'm just making sci-fi references. Alrighty. There we go. That's what I have for you. So this is chapters in YouTube. Super easy. You need the time code. You need to put a title to the time code. You need to have at least 3. There needs to be at least 10 seconds in between each one, meaning they need to be at least 10 seconds long. So go like for 12 seconds minimum. You can go much longer. And you need to start off with 0:00. Call it whatever you want. I've been calling it intro. But as long as you do those 3 things, put it into the description for your video, recorded or live after the fact, and you're good to go. That's it. That's what I've got for you. Let me just double check and see if anybody had any questions, because I'm got to make a special effort here with Facebook, because Facebook. Okay, looks like we're good. Everybody's happy? We do have to think about our future robot overlords. Yes, I, for one, welcome our robot overlords. Absolutely, Ace, you are right about that. And we are definitely feeding them the data, but more importantly, we are helping our audience find content, refine content, right? Because we've all done that. We've all watched that video and then go, oh, geez, I saw that. Where was that? It'd be much easier to find it, and it's easier to share it. So this is why it's worthwhile to do it. And also it's early times, so you can look super snazzy with your content out there, because you're doing something that, frankly, a lot of the big YouTubers are not even doing this yet. So go ahead, get ahead of them for a change, and just go ahead and jump in and do this. As always, if you have any questions, comments, if you want me to cover a topic on the show, please feel free to reach out, YourTechCoach.net. There's a contact form there. Go ahead and make use of that. If you want to know what's coming down the pike, if you want to know what shows are coming, that type of thing, join the mailing list. YouTube. I've got YouTube on the brain. YourTechCoach.net/mailing list. I just need your email address so I can stay in touch with you. I'm not selling your email to anybody. You know, karma's a thing. So you don't have to worry about it. But it is an easy way to stay in the loop on what things are going on. All right, Sammy, I hope this worked for you. I'm hoping to see this in your videos. I realize with your extended videos, it might take a little extra work, but if you are trying to help people find particular pieces in there, this is the way to go. It is so easy and actually kind of fun just because it works. It's like, hey, you do this, and then you go and check the description, and boom, you can click on links. I had a good time with it, and my fellow geeky people will. But even if you're not a geek, it's so easy to do. It's really just a copy and paste, as long as you can go through and grab your time codes, which is just a matter of looking at the screen and, hovering over the different points in the video and building this out literally in Notepad. It's fine. Like whatever tool you've got on your computer is fine. Just time, topic, copy and paste it into your description. There's not even a required place for it, so life is easy. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I am going to let you go. And I will be back here next Thursday. I'm here every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. I am, just so you know, looking to maybe shift the show from Thursdays to Wednesdays. If I'm going to do it, it will start in October. So excited for the mailing list. I'll let you know for sure. But other than that, life will continue. I will continue to put these shows out for you. I just might need to shift the time just because life. All right, everybody, have a good one. We will talk soon. Bye.